Hello, it's Miss Seeger again. Today is March 18th, and we're going to read the next chapter, The Big Dig. Let me steady my phone. Let's read. The Big Dig. In order to get the bones out, the diggers have to blast a hole into the cliff, get bigger tools soon, cut the cliff up into large blocks of rock. So we got to read the story and find out. Next question. How will the plaster keep the bones safe? So we're going to find out what plaster is. What tools will they use at the lab to get the bones out of the blocks? What did Kate name the T-Rex? And that's it. Now we're going to switch over to the story. So remember, in order to get the bones out, the diggers have to do something. Okay, let's find out. The Big Dig. When we went back to the cliff, the Bone Man was there with some helpers. They had scraped the side off the cliff to expose a lot of the T-Rex. So, will you dig out all of the bones here on site? Asked Nan. No, said the Bone Man. The next step will be to carve this cliff into large blocks of rock. Then we will wrap the blocks up in plaster. The plaster will keep the bones from cracking. Then we will use a large crane to set the blocks on trucks. Then the trucks will take them to my lab. Once the blocks are there, we will start digging the bones out of the blocks. Now let's back up and look at the picture. They're going to have to cut this cliff up into sections and take the whole section on a big truck back to the laboratory, the lab. What sort of tools do you use for that? Asked Nan. We use tools a lot like the ones dentists use on teeth, brushes and sharp picks. Kate and I used forks, said Max. How long will it take to carve all of the bones out of the rocks? Jack asks. Well, said the Bone Man, we've got a lot to do. It will take some time because we have to be careful not to wreck the bones. Will you be finished by the end of the summer? I asked. No, said the Bone Man. You and Max will have to visit next summer and perhaps the summer after that. Then we can catch up on our digging progress. So they may have to go back 2 summers in a row. That means 2 years. If they do it too quickly, they'll break the T-Rex. And although that looks pretty rough, they know what they're doing. So, said the Bone Man, have you picked out a name for this T-Rex? Yes, I've picked one, I said. All of the diggers stopped digging and looked at me. I said, this T-Rex will be named Max, or if you like, T-Max. All of the men cheered. Max smiled. See, that's all the people clapping and cheering. So Kate named it after the new friend she made, Max, since he took her digging with forks. And the scoop would be tomorrow. I think that was nice of Kate. Instead of naming it after herself, she named it after her friend. So let's go. In order to get the bones out, the diggers have to blast a hole in the cliff, Get bigger tools soon. Cut the cliff up into large blocks. I remember it's this one, but I'm going to show you. Let's go back to the beginning of the story. So will you dig all the bones out here on site? Asked Nan. No, said the bone man. The next step will be to carve this cliff into large blocks of rock. Then we will wrap the blocks up in plaster. So cutting it up into large blocks is the next step. Next question. How will the plaster keep the bones safe? It keeps them from falling apart. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, it's right here. The plaster will keep the bones from cracking. Plaster, I'll try to show you plaster on the other video. Plaster will keep the bones from cracking. What tools will they use at the lab to get the bones out of the blocks? Let's go find it. What sort of tools do you use for that? Asked Nan. We use tools a lot like the ones dentists use on teeth, brushes and sharp picks. So that's the answer to that one. They use tools like dentists. What did Kate name the T-Rex? Kate named the T-Rex Max or T-Max. That's at the end. The T-Rex will be named Max, or if you like, T-Max. Okay, now I'm gonna, I'll send her another video tomorrow, okay? We need to read a chapter a day. Miss you, love you.